In Ecuador, vote counting is underway in Sunday's early general elections, authorities registered an 82% turnout. In Guatemala, citizens went to the polls to elect their next president. And in Spain, authorities report that firefighters made progress in their fight against the wildfire raging in Tenerife. Hello, welcome to From the South. I'm Luis Alberto Matos from the teleSUR studios in Havana, Cuba. We begin with the news. In Ecuador, vote counting continues in Sunday's general elections. During a press conference, the president of the National Electoral Council, Diana Antemine, praised the work of the police and the military who safeguarded the electoral process. The high electoral official reported a turnout of over 82%. Antemine added that preliminary results will begin to come in after 7:30 p.m. local time. The president of the National Electoral Council also informed of several attacks against digital platforms in foreign countries that hamper voting abroad. The official said the necessary measures have been taken to ensure the final results.
We thank and congratulate the Ecuadorian people for coming here.
Asimismo, agradecemos y felicitamos
We are also very thankful and celebrate the job the military forces did today, which guarantee security throughout the election days, guarantee that it's a peaceful day when people can go and cast their votes peacefully.
Es así que la participación de las ecuatorianas y ecuatorianos en estos
the participation of the Ecuadorians on today's election days
esto es el 82.26%.
has been over 82%.
In Guatemala, the presidential runoff continues. So far, numbers at polling stations suggest a modest turnout. After casting her ballot, the president of the Supreme Electoral Tribunal, Irma Palencia, provided statements to the press and affirmed that the day advances without any major incidents. For the moment, the influx of people to the voting centers suggests a modest popular participation. However, authorities were expecting that during the course of the day, more citizens would join in and turn out to vote. Voters are called to choose between the former First Lady, Sandra Torres Casanova, or the academic Bernardo Arevalo de León. In Guatemala, the president of the Electoral Board of the Department of Guatemala, Álvaro Bravo, reported earlier on the electoral turnout.
The highest turnout has been seen in the municipality of Misco as of noon. The last report I have is that over 186,000 voters have come out to vote, which is more or less 14.5% of the electoral roll under the responsibility of the Electoral Board of Guatemala Department.
Citizens in Guatemala gave their opinion on the 4 axes necessary for the presidency, while members of the Departmental Electoral Board indicated that they hope to reach a turnout level of over 80%.
For the presidency, it is education, health, roads, and also security. Those are the 4 X's for a presidency. That they offer anything else, that for me it's corruption, because where the hell are they going to get all that money from?
I think we have a lot of positive things today. We have an excellent day, as you can see. I think that this is not going to be an obstacle for someone to say, look, I didn't get out, or it's been a bit cold. It is going to rain. We hope that maybe at the end of the day, the situation will change. But as you can hear, another polling station with 25% of voters. This is a party.
In Haiti, more than 2,400 deaths from violence have been recorded from January 1st to August 15th of this year. The death toll from extreme brutality by gangs in Haiti between January and mid-August has risen to around 2,439, according to a report released Friday by the United Nations. During this period, another 902 people were injured and 951 have been kidnapped. Amid a rise in widespread violence linked to a combination of factors, including the political instability and economic crisis the country is experiencing. The spokesperson for the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, Ramina Shamdasani, reiterated the UN's calls for urgent security action to send a multinational force to support the Haitian police. Let's take a short break, but remember you can join us on TikTok at teleSUR English, where you will find news in different formats, news updates, and much more. All the stories coming up. Stay with us. Welcome back from the south. In Russia, the anti-aircraft defense managed to neutralize a new Ukrainian kamikaze drone attack on a military unit near the settlement of Novochachtin. The territory's governor, Vasily Golubev, reported that the radio-electronic warfare systems worked effectively and managed to shoot down the 3 unmanned aerial vehicles launched from Ukrainian-controlled territory. He also noted that 2 of the drones were shot down in a military unit in the city of Kamensk, and the third was found about a kilometer from the town of Novochachtin. The official added that the incident caused no structural damage and no casualties or injuries were reported. On Sunday, Russia's space agency said that preliminary data indicates the automatic Luna 25 spacecraft might have crashed into the moon. Earlier, Roscosmos agency had reported an emergency as the spacecraft tried to enter pre-landing orbit ahead of a planned Monday landing. Roscosmos lost contact with the unmanned spacecraft, and efforts to locate it and establish communications with it on August 19th and the 20th yielded 0 results. Moscow was hoping to make history in a race to be the first country to make a soft landing on the moon's icy south pole. The agency added that a special interdepartmental commission is already investigating the cause of the Russian lunar spacecraft crash. Spanish authorities confirmed on Sunday that firefighters made progress in their fight against the wildfire raging in Tenerife. Local officials added that so far the fire has a perimeter of 70 kilometers. It has devastated 8,400 hectares, just over 4% of the total area of Tenerife, and has forced the evacuation of more than 12,000 people. The fire started on Tuesday in a mountainous area of northeast Tenerife and quickly became the largest in the history of the Canary Islands. Monster Roman, technical head of the operation, said firefighters' nighttime operations focused mainly on defending infrastructure and homes on the northern flank of the fire. Roman added that there had been no further evacuations or confinement orders.
And of course we are scared because we don't know what's happening, right? Everyone's saying something, but like a real, I don't know, we don't have news, we don't have television here, so I don't see that. But I'm hopeful that everything will be okay. Of course, that's a little bit scary to see the fire and smoke, but I know it's in forest, and I know that everyone will do everything to keep it down, and yes. So I hope that more information will come and we will know better.
I come here for holiday and has been here for around 2 weeks, but then all of a sudden the fire came up and then it seems to spread very quickly in the first 24 hours, and it's covered a large area. And we were staying somewhere near Tacoronte. So before the fire, it was not on our direction, but last night the wind was very strong and the direction changed, and seems the fire starts to spread.
The U.S. Navy has sent warships to support the safe evacuation of ships in San Diego Bay due to Hurricane Hilary. In a statement, U.S. 3rd Fleet's Commander Vice Admiral Michael Boyle informed that the mission is to guarantee the safety of the sailors and ships in the bay. He said all necessary measures have been taken to avoid serious damage to the infrastructure on the ships of the 3rd Fleet. The commander explained that 1 aircraft carrier and 2 ships are already out of the bay. Hurricane Hilary brought heavy rains on Saturday to parts of Mexico's Baja California Peninsula and the southwestern United States. Officials warned that the powerful hurricane could cause catastrophic and potentially deadly flooding. The storm weakened on Saturday and dropped from Category 4 to Category 2 on the Saffir-Simpson scale, but was still capable of causing major damage. Hurricane conditions are expected to continue along the Baja California coast on Sunday. The storm is expected to weaken to a tropical storm before reaching southern California and southern Nevada, with heavy rain and flooding still possible. In Australia, Spain's women's national football team won the 2023 FIFA World Cup after beating England. In a match played on Sunday, the Spanish women positioned themselves as world champions with the only goal of the match scored by Olga Carmona. This is the first victory for the women's national team, and they are now on a par with the men's team, who also won the world title at the 2010 World Cup in South Africa. England captain Millie Bright said the defeat was really hard to take. Spain's 1-0 victory over England is a football miracle. It is an unforgettable moment because this Spain has been built in a short time, in less than a decade, and is growing where there was nothing before. We have a second short break coming up, but before we invite you to visit our YouTube channel at teleSUR English. There you'll be able to rewatch our interviews, top stories, special broadcastings, and more. Hit the subscribe button and activate the notification bell to stay up to date on the world's most recent events. Final short break, don't go away. Welcome back from the south. Cuban President Miguel Díaz-Canel arrived on Sunday in Angola to complete an official visit to the African country. At the Quetro de Febrero International Airport, the president was welcomed by the Angolan Minister of Foreign Affairs, Tete Antonio, on the island's ambassador to this African nation, Esther Armenteros. Local media have echoed the visit of the Cuban head of state, which the press has described as a further step in strengthening bilateral cooperation. According to the Angolan press agency, during his stay in Luanda, the president will hold talks with his counterpart Joao Lorenzo and will address the National Assembly and is expected to sign several agreements. Cuba and Angola maintain historical ties of friendship and solidarity. The military chief of Nigerian National Homeland Defense Council, General Abdurrahmane Chiani, warned the economic community of West African states of his country's military response capabilities. The junta's leader addressed the country after holding a meeting with ECOWAS Commissioner for Political Affairs and Peace, Abdel Fattah Moussa, although he ratified that the intention is not to seize power and that there will be a transition that will not last more than 3 years. He assured that attacking Niger militarily will not be a walk in the park. In his televised speech, he accused the community organization of serving as a platform to attack his country in collaboration with a foreign army. Several thousand people rallied in Niamey, Niger, in support of the military junta, which announced it is considering a transition of no more than 3 years as the threat of a West African military intervention still looms over Niger. Niger's new military ruler said on Saturday that a transition of power would not go beyond 3 years and warned that any attack on the country would not be easy for those involved. Tiani's warning came after an ECOWAS delegation arrived in the country for a final diplomatic push before deciding whether to take military action against the country's new rulers. In his 12-minute speech, Tiani denounced what he called the illegal and inhuman sanctions imposed by ECOWAS against Niger. He also announced 30 days of national dialogue to draw up concrete proposals to lay the foundations of a new constitutional life. On Saturday, a team from the European Union that is observing the upcoming elections in Zimbabwe denied a report published by a state-run newspaper accusing them of being involved in a bribery scandal. Voters in the South African country, ruled since independence in 1980 by the ruling ZANU-PF party, will vote on August 23rd to elect a president. Legislators and local government councillors, citing anonymous sources, the Herald newspaper reported on Friday that an EU media team had met with 18 journalists and handed out whiskey and shopping vouchers to influence the journalists to make outlandish claims intended to tarnish the entire electoral process. The EU Election Observation Mission stated that these accusations were based on fabricated rumors It also described previous attempts to discredit its mission and concluded that such stories were blatant misinformation of the Zimbabwean population. Dozens of mass graves have been discovered in Darfur, Western Sudan. Humanitarian organizations claim they contain more than 1,000 corpses. The announcement was made by Marceline Rija, Regional Emergency Director of the International Rescue Committee. He affirms that this is one of the bloodiest episodes of violence in the history of the region. Darfur has been, for decades, the scene of heavy ethnic clashes, now aggravated by the conflict that broke out in April between the army and paramilitary groups. Last July, the same organization and other agencies allied with the United Nations confirmed the discovery of 87 corpses in the same area. In Ethiopia, over 1,400 people have died as a result of the interruption of humanitarian aid agreed by the U.S. International Development Agency. An alleged case of corruption in the distribution of food for the Tigray region led to the decision of the Washington office, which was supporting the World Food Program. According to an investigation coordinated by the Acting Commission of Tigray government, there was evidence of food diversion. Local agency officials are implicated in the corruption scandal and could have affected the lives of over 300,000 people. However, USAID's punitive measures has cost the lives of some 1,400 people who died of starvation. We have come to the end of this news briefing. You can find these and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net. Also join us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Telegram, and TikTok. For TeleSUR English, I'm Luis Alberto Matos. Thank you for watching.